What's going on in the world right now isn't just another crisis. This is a moment of spiritual decision. Either sleep or wake up. When you look at what's going on in the world right now, it feels like history is speeding up and chaos is ensuing. Certainty is collapsing, people feel more anxious, more polarized, more reactive. It feels like history is tightening, like the volume is being turned up, and like we're being forced to look at what we really believe in. And yet at the same time, beneath all of the noise, there's something subtle going on. That's why this moment feels so spiritually charged. Because in Torah language, there's a concept called Hester Panim, which means that Hashem is hiding himself in this world. Not absent, but hidden. The world feels like a bunch of random events, power struggles, chaos, headlines. But the deeper truth is that all of this hiddenness is really a test and is actually the source of our free will. We have a choice. Will we settle for face value on what we see only on the surface? Or are we going to choose to dig deeper and search for the author behind the story? Which brings us to Purim, which is right around the corner. Here's a fact that maybe not many of you knew, which is that in the whole Purim, in the whole Megillah, Hashem's name is not mentioned one time. Not even one single time. Which is very shocking because Purim is one of the most God-filled stories that we have. So the question is, why would the Megillah of Purim hide Hashem? And the answer is the secret to what is happening in the Purim story and what is going on right now in the world. Sometimes Hashem's greatest presence comes in the form of concealment. Sometimes the miracle is not that God breaks nature, but it's that he conceals himself so well that it takes a really... Hashem Elokim. Okay, here we go. We interrupt this program for a siren. Okay, we're back. What I was saying is, sometimes the miracle is not that God breaks nature. It's that God orchestrates nature so perfectly that it takes this awareness that God is orchestrating nature to see through it and see God behind it all. Purim teaches us how to live in a world where God doesn't announce himself with fireworks, rather with little tiny coincidences that when stacked up, cause your heart to say, okay, maybe this isn't completely random. And this is why right before Purim on Shabbat, we read what's called Parashat Zachor, where we have a mitzvah from the Torah that God commanded us to remember Amalek and what Amalek did to us. So who is Amalek? Amalek is a nation that after hearing about the miracles and wonders that God performed for the Jewish people in taking them out of Egypt, still decided to attack us and attack us from behind and the weakest people who were straggling behind, with no remorse. It says in the Torah, remember what Amalek did to you on your journey after you left Egypt, how undeterred by fear of God, he surprised you on the march when you were famished and weary and cut down all the stragglers in your rear. Therefore, when the eternal your God grants you safety from all of your enemies around you in the land that the eternal God is giving you as a hereditary portion, you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget. In Judaism, we learn that Amalek wasn't just a nation that existed long ago. Amalek is an ideology, and it exists and is alive more than ever today. Amalek isn't just a hatred of Jews. It's a hatred for all that Jews represent and stand for. The idea that reality has a creator, that life has moral meaning, that human beings are responsible, that there are consequences to our actions, that justice matters, and that holiness is real. Haman, the villain of the Purim story, wasn't just a villain. He was a voice. He was a voice that said, and that still says, erase Israel, erase Jews, and erase God from the public story. And literally today, we're hearing that voice now more than ever. Leaders and movements that openly call for Israel's destruction and a world where Jewish meaning is removed. And this is exactly the secret of Purim, which can be summed up in just one phrase, v'nafochu. It was all turned upside down. It's when the exact moment that appeared to be the end was just the beginning. It's when the decree that looked sealed was reversed. And it's when the fear that felt final turns into courage, unity, and joy. V'nafochu isn't just something that happened to Jews back then. It's a spiritual reality that existed then and still exists today. Hitler once said the following: if one little Jewish boy survives without any Jewish education, with no synagogue and no Hebrew school, Judaism is still in his soul. Even if there had never been a synagogue or a Jewish school or an Old Testament, the Jewish spirit would still exist and exert its influence. It had been there from the beginning, and there is no Jew, not a single one, who does not personify it. It's incredible that Hitler himself saw that in each and every Jew, whether or not he keeps Torah and mitzvahs or whatnot, inside him, deep down on a spiritual, mystical realm, has an essence that's different, that's connected. If there really is this infinite creator that exists, then there is a very special spiritual energy in the air that exists right now. It means this is a personal invitation right now to make a change, an individual change. So let's get practical. I'm going to give 3 ways to tap into the spiritual energy that's going on right now. The first way is to reduce noise. Put down the phone, disconnect from all the chaos and the media that oftentimes just cause more anxiety and more disconnection. Number 2, tap into the spirit of hiddenness. Give some charity. Do an act of kindness that you don't get recognized for. Forgive someone else in your heart for something that they did. And number 3, choose unity. Reach out to one person. Repair one relationship. Do one thing that connects you more with the Jewish people. My friends, right now, we have the opportunity to tap into something incredible. We have the opportunity to tap into this nafochu in our modern day, which is turning this fear that we're feeling into faith, this confusion into clarity, that there is this one infinite creator, and morality does exist, and right and wrong exists, and there are consequences to our action. and that this world and everything that we're going through isn't just random, because that's the whole idea of Amalek, that everything is random, that nothing really matters, and that's our mission as the Jewish people. So once we're able to take a step back from all of the chaos and all the uncertainty that's going on in the outside world, and we turn inside and we make these internal switches, we'll merit to see them reflected in the outside world, and we'll be able to turn darkness into light together.